of our book. So we're going to deal with still photography basically, and then film, and then later video is invented and internet. There's a lot covered in this chapter, and I think I'm going to put up a couple of links to films that you can look at, some very quick videos that you guys can look at for that aspect of things. Alright, there's a lot of key terms here. Make sure you go over these carefully. You have the regular PowerPoint to do that with. So photography is light passing through an opening in a darkened chamber. The image is formed on the inside, it's upside down, and it's a replica of the outside world. Now, camera obscura, this is still done today, but what it is it's an upside down projection of the image. Exactly what it's saying here. It's going to go through a little tiny hole, and then it goes and it's formed upside down with a replica of the world. So it's not a permanent image. This is a camera obscura in 1646. The camera is not invented for another 200 years. But what is happening is the image is being projected on to this screen that's in here, and it's upside down. You can kind of see it better in this one where the leaf is upside down. See how this leaf right here is presenting itself upside down. This was not this large, the camera obscura, but at any rate, it was to help painters paint realistically, to get things in proportion, and to do a realistic drawing in the Renaissance. So they might carry this around outside. They might also just use it within their studio. But what they're trying to do is get this image upside down onto a canvas where they can draw on it. Okay, this is a very early photograph, 1839, daguerreotype. Now this is a positive image. What that means is there's only one of these. The image is actually exposed onto a metal plate. So when you're looking at this image, it's not printed from a negative. If you guys know anything about negatives, there's only one of these. You can't make another one. It's a one-off. One of the things about this image that is really interesting is that because of the long exposure times, you have to leave that opening open for such a long time to get anything to imprint on it. It looks like there's no traffic. It looks like a Sunday, at dawn or something. But that isn't true. This is a bustling street with a lot of activity and vehicles, mostly it would be horse-drawn carriages here. And the only person you see here, or the two people, is a shoe-shine boy and a guy getting his shoes shined. There were people walking all over in here, but you cannot see them because they did not hold still. And you guys maybe know something about that if you've ever gone to a county fair or somewhere where they ask you to hold still in old clothing and do one of these type photographs onto a metal background or a copper plate. They ask you to hold very, very still, because it took a long time to get the information to come through the hole and the chemicals to react. Alright, so a camera is a light, tight box. One emits light, a lens focuses and refracts this light, and an image is captured on a light-sensitive surface. Different types that we're explaining here, we just talked about daguerreotype, and then a negative image, it appears in reverse, and it's made so you can make multiple images. Okay, this is the diaphragm with the aperture opening. So this is upright, right? This is what we're looking at. And when it comes in, the film is upside down. This doesn't matter because in the old days with this type of camera, a basic kind of camera with real film in it, it's printing everything in there upside down, but it really doesn't matter because once you print this stuff, it'll be upside right. Alright, this is an early photograph using a glass negative, 1867. Julia Jackson. This has some really beautiful tones in here. You can see these different washy sorts of tones. This is Margaret Cameron. Julia Margaret Cameron. She's a very early photographer, and it's quite large, 10 inches by 8 inches. It's a large glass negative, and then it was an albumin print. So it's printed out. But you can see she's already exploring some of the value changes that can happen with photography. So photography and art, that doesn't happen right away. Although the two directions are already in play of pictorialism and pure/straight photography. And this is what your essay question is going to be on.